Hey guys, thanks for joining us today for our post-game press conference featuring New Mexico State head men's basketball coach Chris Jans. Uh, Coach, I think somebody remarked when we were walking through the hallway earlier, everything kind of got going around noon for the action today, and that kind of involved the offense. But just talk about the game as a whole, overcoming a slow start, and really seeing Clayton Henry come on there in the second half to get this important March win.
Yeah, I thought our defensive effort in the first half was really good. We only gave up 6 baskets. We were on point with what we were trying to do. When the offense is sputtering a little bit, sometimes you worry that the defense will become unmotivated to guard with the same intensity, passion. But that was a good sign that they weren't motivated by the lack of offense. They stuck with it. And eventually our offense, got going and we made some shots and we were able to get that lead at halftime. In the second half, I didn't think our defense was quite as good. They got to the line too much. I think they scored 38 points. 32 points instead of 19. But, overall, certainly glad we played the game and glad we won.
Coach, if there's, and I think I know you well enough where there's always something that needs to be improved on, but if there's one thing with this team that you could fix overnight tomorrow morning, what do you think that would be?
I wish you had the powers to grant me that, first of all, Lou. That would be awesome. Every coach in America would love that. If I had my wish, one thing, that's a great question. Probably to get them to work together a little bit more offensively. We get stagnant with our spacing and our movement, and we work on it from day one. And for some reason, it's taken a little bit longer for us to take a hold of our team and get them to see the productivity that will happen when they work together in offense. There's an old saying when I grew up, the coaches used to say, you can rest on offense, you can't rest on defense. You got to give everything you got on defense. If you're going to rest, do it on offense. And that's what I grew up with. And it's so farther from the truth nowadays. You have to work on offense. You've got to work on cutting and spacing and screening and doing all the things that, most teams want to do. And for some reason, for us, sometimes we're still struggling a little bit in that category. So when you get them powers, you should make sure and let me know, and we'll get that taken care of.
Yeah, we'll do. Fix some things on this end first, then I'll worry about the act.
Coach, 19 offensive rebounds in this one. Just how happy are you with the guys' work on the glass?
Anyone that's followed us knows that that's a big part of our recipe. We've been really good on the glass since we've arrived. The numbers back it up. And this team is trending towards that. Our KenPom numbers, percentage offensively and defensively are going in the right direction. And it's becoming something, that we're relying on more and more. And we have to. That's just the system that we set up, the scheme that we set up. We rely on that. And, more and more guys are understanding it and doing their jobs to make it happen. So really happy that we're able to get that many. And then, they had 10, but 6 of them were team, where the ball was batted around, that ball situation. So they only got 4, and the big guy, Cherry, had 3 of the 4, which he's a big human being. He's a hard guy to check out. But so I was pretty happy. That was the number one key going into the game that I wrote on the board was rebounding, and felt good about our effort for the most part all morning long.
Coach, what about just the response from this team after the performance over the weekend? I guess that's something that this group has been pretty consistent at and pretty good at, is coming off a loss. It doesn't turn into a 2 or 3 game losing streak.
Well, I've always been proud of the toughness and the resiliency of our teams. And even though the record isn't what it's been in the past, they've showed a lot of resilience to get to this point. We don't, use that as excuse, but the reality is, it is what it is. And they've been put through a lot. they've been put through a lot in terms of the relocation and all the COVID from ourselves and then other teams and the bus rides back from California and then coming home and being elated to practice, but still not being able to play in the friendly confines and they've stuck with it. We've had no talk of opting out. These kids love the game. They love the program and they love to win and compete. And again, it's not been perfect. It's not what any of us thought it would be, including our players, but I'm proud of them because they're still coming. We talked about bringing it. Just bring it, man. Just do what you do and bring it, and everything will work out. And we scheduled this game to get more minutes for all of us, get more game experience, especially for guys that don't have a lot of it. And I think it's going to help us. We'll find out this weekend and then obviously the next. But the locker room was lively. It was good, and hopefully this will propel us going into the weekend.
Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
Oh, you're good. Short turnaround as you guys get ready for Dixie State this weekend. Just what are these next few days going to look like for the team?
Yeah, again, another positive of the early start is, certainly not a day off, but we got all afternoon to rest and get treatment. And, all of us, or myself, get caught up with Dixie. I know the staff will have it all on point already. We'll start, on the bus ride home, and that'll be what we'll do the rest of the afternoon is get organized with our staff and be able to present it to the players tomorrow. And we'll have 2 days of prep to get ready for 2 road games. So, but it's good. I think it's hopefully, maybe we can look back and talk about the fact that playing this extra game, propelled us into some positive momentum heading into the stretch run of the basketball season.
Chris, what did you see out of Jabari today? It looked like he had a little bit more bounce to his step and was a little bit more athletic and than we've seen maybe all season long after dealing with that nagging foot injury.
Again, we got, he's not the only one, but of these foot injuries and these surgeries, once you're released, it's like 6 to 8 weeks, they said. But then they also tell you, like, he's not going to be really right till 12 weeks. They're not going to feel like they used to until 12 weeks. They have a lot of soreness, after certain practices and certain games. There for a while, not now. I mean, neither one, none of those guys that were injured with the foot injuries were practicing all the time. But they are now. And, I don't know if that's it. I mean, I'm not in his body. I can't speak for him, but I would think that has something to do with it because that's where they're at now. I think they're feeling back to their normal self because it takes a while, even when you're okay to play, when you have something like that in your foot, in your metatarsal, et cetera. So again, I don't know. You'd have to ask him personally, but let's hope for all of us, certainly for the Aggies that that's the case and he'll continue to play like he did today.
Anything else for Coach this afternoon, guys?
Chris, is there a different mindset right now? I mean, you talk about getting momentum from today going into this weekend and then into the WAC tournament. But is the mindset changed considering that the last 3 years you guys have had the WAC regular season championship, or you're going in, as a WAC regular season championships, but you're not in that situation this year. What's the kind of mindset? Is it different this year?
Well, we've addressed it. We've talked about the fact that we're not going to be able to reach all of our goals this year, but the ultimate one is still dangling. It's still out there, which is, the most important one other than winning games in the NCAA tournament. And it's still there for us. I think it's pretty obvious. I think most coaches in the league would say the same, I'd imagine, or at least think the same, that anyone can beat anybody in this league this year. I mean, our seed's going to be what it is, but I think and our players feel the same way that we can beat anybody. Now can we do it, on 3 consecutive nights? That remains to be seen. But I think, just from my perspective, it's up for grabs. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are eligible for the conference tournament that are capable of winning the darn thing. And it's going to be some competitive, intense games. And, hopefully our experience on that floor and those situations will help us. But we're already talking about it. We're already talking about it in practice. We talk about it sometimes leading up to the game. And, we were hopeful that last weekend we could get a series sweep and feel great going into this one. But, it didn't happen for a number of different reasons. But, they bounced back. And, those that watched the game saw with the intensity and passion for the most part that we played with. So hopefully we'll continue doing that this weekend.
Coach, how important would it be, I guess, to go into the WAC tournament having won 3 straight games? I know you want to win everyone, but this weekend, how big would it be coming out of the sweep and having that momentum? Is that something major, or how do you look at it?
Yeah, we want to win every game. And if I was outside looking in, I would say, hey, you need to get momentum. You need to feel good. You need to have confidence. And that's all right. And I think I'd rather have it that way. But I've been on teams that lost in the semis or the finals of a conference tournament and go on runs in the NCAA tournament. So you can do it in a number of ways. When you're playing those games in the Orleans, you're not going to be thinking about a Dixie loss or a Tarleton loss or a UTRGV win. You're going to be completely laser focused on the task at hand. But certainly I think most coaches would tell you most of the time, unless you're riding high and your team eats a little humble pie, you want to feel good. You want to be winning. You want to have that running through the bloodlines of your team. And we're no different. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily required to win a conference tournament.
Coach, I'm sorry, I got to ask my one injury question the other day. Donnie Tillman didn't see him suit up today, and maybe I missed him. I didn't see him on the sideline either. Is there a chance he might play this weekend? Is he maybe going to miss some more time? Just what's
Donnie had a non-COVID health issue in the last couple of days, and I haven't talked to the trainer yet about where he's at, but he required some doctor evaluation. So we'll see where he's at here when I get done with this and we head back. But that was his situation.
All right, guys. Anything else for Coach this afternoon?
All right, guys. Thanks. Thank
Perfect.
you.